Hey, I'm so delighted to be here today with KATHRYN Otoshi. You know, I don't know if I've ever said your name right.
It's Otoshi.
Otoshi. Otoshi. And I met KATHRYN a long time ago when she was first self-publishing books and other things. And one of the things I love about your work is that you do such a great job of the symbiotic relationship between the story you're telling, the text, and the illustrations. And I also love that you're not afraid to tackle our emotional side and the things that happen in our life. So can you tell us a little bit about Lunch Every Day, which I think is one of the most complex books and heart-wrenching books that you've created.
Thank you.
And it's so important when we talk about food insecurity and other things, but can you talk a little bit about where the germ for this book came from and why you felt the need to create it?
Oh, well, I have a friend named Jim Perez, and he told me, which surprised me, that he was kind of a bully growing up, in that he would take this kid's, lunch at school every day. And what happened was, although he's labeled a bully, we find out it's actually really because he's afraid and doesn't want to stand in that free lunch line. So over the course of the story, you realize a little bit more of his story, what happens, and a kindness that someone shows him that turns his whole life around. So really the message of this story has to do with how one kind thing consistently done over time can make a huge difference.
I think it's so important. We first, not to pass judgment on why somebody is doing what they're doing, and because context is everything. One of the things that's really interesting to me about this story is that it's the loose line that you chose to use to illustrate that. Why did you choose that loose line?
Well, thank you for asking about that. Yeah, well, it's a loose line and kind of sketchy, but one of the things too is I wanted to really show Jim for a long time in silhouette. He's always kind of to the back where you don't see his face until what happens is when he's finally seen by somebody, that's actually the very first time that you see him. So once we see somebody, I decided to make it, that's when the audience and the reader sees him at the same time.
Wow.
And it's so important too, where, we are so busy with our own focus during the day that we don't see what's happening on the fringe or what's happening to other people.
And sometimes it's right in front of us, and we have
it's right
to
in
just
front
look
of
at
us.
patterns and other things.
Yeah.
This is a perfect example of what I call what I talk about when I say a book is not the destination, it's a vehicle to the destination unknown.
Yeah.
This is a book that opens up conversations and asks questions, and it's a book for people to say, hey, I'm going to pay attention to what's going on around me, and maybe in one small way I can make a difference, and I can share how I interact with the world to make somebody else's day a little bit better. But thank you for everything that you have done.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I think they're going to be giving away these books that
They
you're
are,
signing
right
in
now.
the Publisher Spotlight booth at TLA.
At TLA, my favorite place to be.
Love it.
So
Thank you
so
so much.
Thank you.